Greetings, everyone. Welcome to the Changing Minds Online live stream. We live stream every third Monday of the month, and we're usually on Facebook, but now we have branched out into these wonderful platforms of LinkedIn and now YouTube. So, we were on Periscope, but of course, we all know Periscope is going away. So, we needed to go ahead and bid them adieu and come on into the new come on. All right. So, today we are going to be talking about what are your takeaways for 2020, and then we're going to switch into now, and what are you taking into 2021? Because I hope you're not taking a lot of that mess that you had in 2020 into 2021. That's just a side note of where we're getting ready to go. But I'm going to let Vanessa start off with this part of the topic.
Woo, Keena, you ready?
I might as well be.
I know that's right. So this is one thing that I know for a fact that 2020, they say, was vision, right?
Mm-hmm.
I believe it was vision. I absolutely believe it, but it was something that took us for a loop, meaning we never thought we'll be shut in for this extended period of time due to COVID. But at the same time, we have to look at the bigger picture of 2020. We still could be able to have that vision. We still could be able to go after our dreams and goals. We just had to be able to be realistic with how we going to pivot from where we was at. If we was working a job, are we going to have that side hustle now? Or are we no longer working that job and we're going to just go ahead and start this business? What is it, right? And 2020 gave us that opportunity to be able to look at things totally different, because going into 2021, when this world finally opened up, hopefully it can fully open back up in 2021, it will not be the same. It won't. So realistically, jobs are now putting out there that in order for people to come back into working in the corporate, they demanded that people take the test. They're taking the test now. So what if you are one of those people that said, I'm not going to take the test? Then what are you going to do? We got to be realistic, right? What are we going to do? Do you have a plan in place with the 2020 vision? Do you have a plan in place to be able to say, I have a backup plan now? I had to be realistic that I needed to have another stream of income, or I need to go full in on my business, right? Mm-hmm. So those just in case moments, I'm protected now. Because look at the schools, they shut down. Parents are at home. And so they're trying to, balance the two. So if this have not taught you anything in 2020, then you're not ready for 2021. You're not ready. And that means if you think this is the time to be able to get ready, you're behind already. Because we less than 2 weeks away from the new year, to the new year. What are you really going to do? And are you really ready and willing to be able to be realistic with those goals in place and go full in and start whatever that is that you need to start? So my takeaways from 2020 is that I've been here already. I've been here. When I got laid off my job in 2011, I can't believe it'll be 10 years. Jesus, fix it. 2011, that's when the economy went crashed, right? People were getting laid off left and right. And I had to be realistic with my situation that I had no backup plan, even though I thought I had a backup plan. You get the 401k, you get the savings. You think that you're good. But reality hit me in my face. And I have these kids looking back at me like, okay, we still got to get this, that, and And so I had to be able to say, okay, what are you going to do now? So with my unemployment check, I started my business. People back then, the money that y'all making now with this extra $600, we didn't get it.
Right.
We didn't get it, right? What did you guys do with the extra $600? Did you do any investment? Did you do any planning for your business? Did you do anything? Because if you got multiple bills, they were still coming in. They were still sending them bills. So if you got multiple bills, why you don't have multiple streams of income? And I had to learn that when I got laid off my job because what? Our parents didn't teach us that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So that was my wake up call. So when 2020 hit and this economy went crazy, I was like, dang, I, I already seen this and experienced it back then. I didn't want to be back in that same situation to be like, okay, now I got to scramble. So I want to know, what was your takeaways? What are you planning on doing? We want to hear from you guys because this is like real. This is the reality of the situation. So you could be able to have a better plan. You have to have a better plan in place because what if your children don't go back to school in 2021? Then what? Then what? So my takeaways was one, thank goodness that I didn't sit in my pity and didn't have a plan in place again, right? Because it could have came back around again. I could have been still fiddling my thumb trying to figure it out. So I'm glad I didn't do that. I'm glad that I went full speed ahead in my business to show up more in my business. I'm glad that I put procedures in place to be able to grow my business. But not only that, I was able to take time out to make the shift that I needed to make sure that my mindset don't get corrupt. What do I mean by that? Corrupt meaning we get stuck in the house. We really can't go out. We're looking at these four walls. We're looking at these kids. We're looking at the grandkids. We're looking at the dogs. We're looking at people like, look. And then you now you all over the place. And then you get so consumed in the stuff because we can't go out in the world like that. We can't go out and go to the park and get fresh air. We can't, be around a whole lot of people at one time. You got to think about all those things. So I had to make sure that I did more often. I had to check my mindset because a lot of people are going into depression. They going into depression. I have experienced it, and you have to check that so you don't stay in that. That's so important. So
Yes.
me running, a business, having a life, you got to be realistic with yourself. If you feel like something is off, please check it. Check it. Because you're not the only one that's going through it. Make sure that you check it. If you need to go and talk to somebody, go and talk to somebody. If you got to get on the phone, me and Kenny, we could be able to get on the phone. Like, Kenny, something's wrong here. I'm a little bit off. She could pick up when I'm off. And sometimes I just don't realize that I've been that off. You have to have the people around you that could be able to pull you and say, okay, what's up? What's going on? What's going on? Let's talk about this thing. Do we need to be on the phone together? Well, what is it? How are you feeling? Don't be afraid of being vulnerable to those people who truly care. That was a moment that was one of my takeaways. I'm not in this alone. I have an amazing circle of friends that I could be able to say, I'm not myself. I don't know what's going on, but I'm not myself. So be okay with that. But make sure that your mind, body, and soul is connected with what you're going to do in your business, in your personal life. Check all the boxes. Don't leave nothing unchecked. So that was something that really was an eye opener for me. I didn't think that all of these things and the way that I was feeling would really affect me, but it did. And I had to be okay with saying I'm a little bit off. So, Dr. Fish, what was your takeaways in 2020?
Whew. Well, you are right. There's so much stuff going on.
Mm-hmm.
And first off, my first takeaway was peace be still.
Mm-hmm.
And what I mean by that is that we had to learn a lot from the hustle and the bustle.
Yep.
Okay. We had to learn a lot from all the things that has been going on in our existence in our areas.
Mm-hmm.
And my goodness, we should have, hopefully, take instead of being in the woe is me phase, we should have
Yes.
taken that time to evaluate now that we have been on lockdown and we're still making money, what things do we really need in our businesses and in our lives? Okay. I realized that, I didn't spend a lot of time with my family because I was always traveling. I was traveling 10 months out of the year. Vanessa
Mm-hmm.
can attest to this. I was gone.
Faithfully.
Okay. I was gone. But once I got locked down, I literally went on one trip this year. One trip. And when I came back, every square toilet tissue was gone. So, I haven't
Yeah.
thought about leaving them up. I'm just
Mm-hmm.
saying. But the point was that, okay, now that my norm is completely messed up, I done lost all my understanding, in other
Mm-hmm.
words. Now, what do I do with this? How do I pivot? Okay. I still need to eat. I still need to pay bills.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the bills, yes, they understood and they took us down a notch. Yeah. But they want their money back, okay? So what am I supposed to do? I
Mm-hmm.
gotta pivot.
Yep.
Okay. And this is so important because if we don't pivot, if we don't go with the flow, if our plans are not fluid,
Yep.
then things like this are going to mess us up. We're going to be
Mm-hmm.
all kinds of discombobulated. Please know that you want to plan first, but have a contingency.
Yep.
Always build your plans with a what if clause.
Mm.
What if this does not flow?
Yep.
What if that does not flow? What if
Mm-hmm.
this? Build on the ideal
Yep.
and then have contingencies off the ideal.
Mm-hmm.
That way, you are not discombobulated. That way, you have some systems set up. That way, you're not all off willy nilly
Yeah.
when things do happen. Life will happen. I had a surgery that luckily nobody missed me from because my systems were in place. I was able to I was like, I was able to go to conferences, in India. I spoke in a conference in India. I spoke in different countries. Why? Because I had pivoted. I already had my Zoom set up. I already had my connection set up. So
Mm-hmm.
when these things came up, I was ready and able.
Yeah.
Okay? That's what I'm saying. Next thing, get your stuff in order. If you are so used to being in a brick and mortar situation, you still need a Zoom. You still need social media.
Mm-hmm.
You still need some type of website. If it's not a full website, at least a landing page so somebody who
Mm-hmm.
can see you at 2 o'clock in the morning that can't sit there and call you. You need something
Yeah.
because your stuff should not just be local, it should be global.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So the next thing was get your stuff in order.
Mm-hmm.
Technology, systems, team in place. This is a
Mm-hmm.
perfect time for y'all to be getting y'all teams together. Get your launches together. There should be a launch plan. There should be a team plan. There should be a expansion plan. And
Mm-hmm.
no, they're not all the same.
Exactly.
Okay. They're part
Mm-hmm.
of the big whole. There should be a calendar in place,
Mm-hmm.
editorial calendar,
Yeah.
business calendar, launch calendar. And I know y'all like, is she really going in like this? Yes, she's really going in like this because this is what I see from my clients. They come to me and say, I just don't know what's going on. Well, let me
Mm-hmm.
help you
Yeah.
for free right now, at least.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? For free right now, at least. Okay. Keep that in up. Next thing is know your worth.
Yeah.
A lot of people realize that they put stock in what they do and not themselves. So when COVID came out and you were no longer this speaker, this cook, this that, because you couldn't go and do the way you used to do,
Yep.
some people felt lost.
Mm-hmm.
They were actually asking themselves, who am I?
Mm-hmm.
Because when they introduce themselves, I am this, I am that, I own this, I go to that, come to my business, come to my this, come to my that. Well, when your stuff was gone, who were you? What was your introduction then? And I'm not trying to be ugly because I see Vanessa's face. I'm not trying to be ugly. The
But it's the
point
truth.
is,
It's the very
were
truth.
you ready for the pivot?
Yep.
Were you ready for the pivot? And some
Yep.
of us were not.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. We learned our lesson, now move from it. Have your pity party, then move from it. You know, you have a situation that can be expanded.
Yeah.
Okay. So y'all like, oh, so how do we do this? Okay, prime example. I was speaking. I was in the middle of doing anthologies. I just finished the first anthology, was getting ready to go on tours, start going to speaking engagements, sell my books there, da 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 da. I was going to start my next anthology, bring it in. I had a whole plan for that. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Well, when people don't have money, they're not investing in anthologies. We
That's
know
true.
what that is. So
Mm-hmm.
that went skirt.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So what do? You find a pivot. You start talking about why this book could help you.
Yeah.
You get online and do these videos and don't just post about it, you do the video about it. Why do you do the video versus the posting? Because people can see where you're coming from. They can hear your inflections,
Mm-hmm.
they can feel your passion, they can see the product, they can see you flipping through it, they
Mm-hmm.
can feel the passion that you put into it and know that it's real.
Yep.
Okay? Vanessa is the person that helped with this book being created in the first place. She is my book consultant. I don't say book coach, I say book consultant because she does all things self publishing. So she came in, she consulted. I didn't need technology, but I did need formatting, this, that, and that, and she made that stuff happen. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you have to realize, do you know what you need? Okay. And are you paying for something that you can do for yourself?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
You got to learn how to negotiate those contracts, but
Mm-hmm.
but that's not what we're talking about right now.
Mm-hmm.
So my final takeaway is, okay, were you ready for the pivot? And if
Mm-hmm.
you weren't ready for the pivot, did you get ready?
Mm.
So are you leaving 2020 without the pivot?
Mm-hmm.
I hope that one of the things you're taking into 2021, and we're going ready to talk about that, is the pivot.
Mm-hmm.
I have a class right now. I did a presentation on different ways for you to repurpose one item, okay, and turn it into 12. Are you on that pivot?
Hmm.
Are you
Well,
making that happen?
well.
Okay. That's the kind of stuff we're talking about. You know,
Mm-hmm.
have y'all done videos from 4 or 5 years ago that were evergreen content that you could have turned into a book, that you could have turned into a course, or you just sitting there wondering where my next meal is coming from?
Mm-hmm.
Do you have books that you could turn into, different audio tracks that you can start selling the audio tracks for,
Mm-hmm.
and turning those into what? Meditations.
Yep.
Or are you still wondering where your next meal coming from?
Mm-hmm.
These are the type of things I want y'all to think. I am naturally futuristic and strategic according to that strength finder thing.
Mm-hmm.
So I always see the big picture. I see way over there. I may not see right in front of me, but I see way over there.
Mm-hmm.
And I also am constantly thinking about how to get over there.
Right.
This here, this is surface to me. I need to
Mm-hmm.
get over there. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And that is the pivot. The pivot's over there.
Mm-hmm.
Pivot's over there. over there, and over there, and over there. All them there's. Okay? It's over there.
Yep.
And how do you get to it?
Yeah.
That's the strategic part. And not everybody's strategic path is going to work for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
But there is one for you. So what do you think about that, Vanessa?
That was really good information. Because I remember when I first started, I was like, okay. Because again, we're not taught these things.
Right. Right.
And so we got to be open to learn these things. And so I'm glad that you spoke about it, because it's just the real reality. You have to be able to start to invest in yourself, because your job invested in you. That's why they pay you a certain amount. That's why they got a cap on it. When you invest in yourself, you are removing a cap. Start thinking that way. There's nothing like ownership. When you can start owning some things, you'll walk into a room totally different. You start standing different. You turn around and be in different conversations. You will connect with more like-minded people, versus you just going to go collect a check in exchange for hours. Is a big difference. So the job has total control over you. It's like they dangling something over you. But when you have something that you own, that you could build, that you could grow, that you could pass out to your children. Now let's have a conversation, because you cannot pass that job down to your children.
Oh, come on now.
So when you gonna shift your mindset, we can have a conversation. I hope somebody heard that. When you shift your mindset, there is a different conversation. And that's the first thing that you need to work on, is be willing to just let me take all of this in and let me get to work.
Now.
So I can connect with those people that speak this language that I'm unfamiliar. So it's important. So don't take the broken mindset, or as I call it, the W-2 mindset, into 2021, because all you're doing is repeating and being a broken record and making excuses after excuses as to why you have yet to do anything that's going to be beneficial to your legacy, to your future. We got to be realistic with this thing here. And it's dead smack in our face, but we have to accept it, and we have to be able to learn and grow from it. This was a moment where we had to sit down in 2020. We had to sit down. God got so sick of us. He is sick of us. I'm just gonna say he is sick of us. And he's trying to tell us that we got so much to be able to do. Imagine if each and every last one of us do our purpose assignment in this world. Do you know how amazing things will be? How much change can take place? How we can really be unified together? How we could be able to change the game, as a lot of people want to say? But we don't want to do that, because we don't want to do the work. We want to be the person that reaps the benefits, but we don't want to be on the front lines doing the work. We don't want to be digging in the ditches. We don't want to do none of that. We don't want to create and build and plant seeds so our children can have something to grow. We don't want to do that. We don't want to do that. We want the easy way. Well, maybe the easy way ain't working. So the easy way is not working. It is not. The system, we already know the system is corrupt. We know that. But what are we going to do to make sure that the legacy is secure? What are we going to do about that part?
Right.
So he had to sit us down so we could be able to look at things totally different. Too many of us are not spending enough time with our families. Too many of us are not spending enough time with ourselves. Too many of us not building real relationships. We're too busy running from those problems. We just say, if we could just work a little bit more, I could pay this off. But then now you're exhausted and you have no time for those that really need you. And so as you exchange those hours for dollars, you still come up broke. You still coming up short. Then what? So if this have not waken anybody up in 2020, I don't know what to tell you. But this was really a reality check for us to check ourselves. Check your household. Sometimes we need to start sweeping in our front steps before we go and look at somebody else's yard.
All right now.
We quick to be in somebody else's business, but our front steps is filthy. He is sick of us. And so he had to shut us down to get our attention. We need to start to be able to start coming together and be intentional about our connections and making sure that the connections that we do make are long-lasting relationships. That's going to be beneficial for everybody, not one-sided. Mm-hmm. It's just like we one-sided. We're going to call on God when we need him. But the other time when everything is working right, we don't even call him. We don't have a conversation. We don't even say thank you. We have to be intentional with our relationships. So if you only calling on him when it's beneficial to you, that's the first relationship that you need to get with. And be consistent with that relationship. So when you walk into 2021, you could be directed to a whole nother path. But we got to be real careful with the next moves that we make. Because we have our children, our grandchildren looking at us. We got to do better. We got to do much better. So take the things and the tips and the tools that you have learned. And so you can be able to incorporate those in whatever your next elevation may be. Don't sit. You don't have time to sit. You don't have time for pity. You don't have time for any of that. Mm-hmm. Let's go ahead and make some adjustments so we can get ourselves together so we can be able to make a difference in this world. That means a lot, is to make a difference. When I have my grandchildren over, one of the things that I teach them is what I'm doing. So when I have them involved, they're like, wait a minute. So we just don't go to Gigi's house to be able to spend time with her. She's teaching us something. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. When I have to be able to ship out stuff. What are you shipping out? And I could teach them these things so they can understand. I don't have a job. I have a business because I'm building a legacy because I could transfer that to my grandchildren. What is it that you're going to be able to transfer to your children, your grandchildren? Be realistic. It's not too late. You need to start doing something so they don't have to do the struggling like we did. Because there's a struggle out here. It is. It's a struggle here, you know. And it was an eye opener for me. It was definitely an eye opener. And you know, when I experienced it the first time after that layoff, I said, "Oh, okay." But then when it came back around, please. So trust and believe. It's not going to be the first time and the second time. It's going to come back around again. The question is, will you be ready? That's right. Will you be ready? Will you be prepared? Don't be sitting there fiddling your thumbs now. Don't be sitting there planning it like they just approved the extra stimulus package. Don't be planning on that and you haven't invested nothing. I'm just saying. You know, we over here getting the latest Jordans and everything else, but you don't have the. Ooh, don't get me started with that. People, this is the thing that really irks me. We invest into something that is not giving us an ROI, right, Keena? That's right. I love that ROI. Okay, if you're not getting a return in your investment, what are you doing? How is it that people made more money with their unemployment check because of the extra $600 and lost their mind when that $600 ended? And you didn't do nothing with that money? Nothing? So now, here we go around again. They approved the second part of it. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? Don't keep sleeping while you're awake. Because we could be wide awake and we still sleeping. Mm-hmm. Get it together. Mm-hmm. Don't take that same mentality into the new year. Don't do that to yourself. Please don't do that to yourself. Because now what are you teaching your children, your grandchildren, whoever's looking up to you? What you teaching them is to continue to have dysfunctional behavior. What you teaching them is that it's okay to just live paycheck to paycheck and keep on pinching, pay Peter, pay Paul. You settling, you telling them this is how you settle, baby.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then you cannot turn around and tell them, do as I say and not as I do. You can't do that.
Mm-hmm.
So we got to do better. So he sat us down to be able to teach us something. What is that? What did you learn from the sit down moment? 2020, we've been sitting down since March. And here he is about to get ready to go into the new year. Almost a whole entire year. So let's go ahead and let's think about that. Don't come up in here in March and say, I'm still doing nothing. You can't get mad when people done bypass your butt up. You can't get mad when those calls are not being returned. When people are making the moves that they need to make when they should have made it, they are making them now, and you are left behind. You can't get mad.
That's right.
Get mad at yourself because you sat there and you settled, and that's what you was teaching your children. Okay, I'm gonna stop. Kano?
But what's up? No. Okay. All of those points you made were valid.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but now that we've talked about our takeaways, we're finna flip the script a little bit because we need y'all to, really get this. Because we're like, y'all like, okay, y'all telling us all the stuff we should have did, woulda, coulda, did. Okay, good, great. And I'm with you. We did say that, but now we're finna flip this up. Now, what are you taking into 2021? All right. This is where we can start right now and making some changes. This is where the planning begins. Have you done your 2021 planning? And no, I don't mean January.
Ooh.
I'm talking about all 12 months.
Oh, come on, Kina. Come on.
All 12 months.
Come on, Kina.
I mean, we should be working in quarters. First quarter should at least be done. Second quarter, okay? Third quarter, fourth quarter, okay? And the reason why we want quarter one solid is because that's what everything else is going to build on. Now, if you already have a certain plan where or a trend, because you need to also look at your trends from the past years.
Yeah.
And my calendar tell me in a minute, Dr. Finch, you kill it in quarter 2 and quarter 4. You build in quarter 1 and you build in quarter 3, and you reap in quarter 2 and 4.
Come on now.
So I already know what my trends are. I know how my people work.
Right.
Okay. So I'm usually going to launch in 1 and get the money in 2 and 4. Okay, that way. And so that makes sense to me. Also, I know that in 4, there's the day after Christmas sale and there's a Black Friday sale.
Yes.
Okay. So that means that I'm going to have something, especially if I know my people respond in 4. That means that I need to have something for Black Friday and I need to have something for day after Christmas. Okay. So, and it needs to be something that is, for those days, I tend to do something low cost, but it still keeps being reciprocal. Prime example, I usually put out my resource list for the day after Thanksgiving. Why? People are looking for presents for Christmas.
Yes, they are.
If that list is cheap or even free, they have to pay using the links. Okay. Hello. If I don't get it on the front, I'm going to get it on the back.
There you go.
All right. That is being strategic. Also, this is where I start judging on what they're clicking on because I get reports. That means that 9.5 times out of 10, if it's a tool They don't know how to work it. So that means that I need to do a tutorial or a class on that. A ding ding. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Then, if it's a product that has gears, bells, and whistles, which usually my stuff does, I need to do a tutorial as well. Are y'all seeing where I'm going with this situation?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And so, as you are putting these things together, that's going to be part of your plan. So it's going to be what's my major launch days? Also, holidays. Do launch plans and editorial calendars around different holidays. Okay, you got some Martin Luther King. Then you got some you got President's Day, you got Valentine's Day, you got Easter. I think this year is gonna be in March. It's either in first quarter or second quarter, just
Mm-hmm.
know how the year flows.
Right.
So you got that, right? Then you go into these other ones. There is a website called nationalholiday.com, right?
Mm-hmm.
Gives you a calendar of they'll send you an email the day before of which day is going to be that day, and you can make a post about it. Make
Mm-hmm.
conversations about it. You can
Mm-hmm.
even go on the calendar and do your research, and you can see which one of those days aligns with your brand. So I know social media day is June 30th. You know that I should have something popping. There should be a video, there should be some posts, there should be I might even be speaking on one of the panels. I need to be applying for these panels to be speaking on. Do y'all see where I'm going with this?
Mm-hmm.
This is a strategic thing. This is not something that you can whip out your tail in 2 days and think that this is going to make a miracle.
Oh, come with it. Come with it.
I'm just saying, and I shouldn't
Mm-hmm.
quite say it that way, but this is what
No, it's just
this is
real.
my point.
Mm-hmm.
This needs to take some time. I usually start working on this around the end of October, where
Mm-hmm.
we decided we were going to do a membership site. And yes, we're coming out with a membership site, but we're coming out in late January, early February. Why? Because we want y'all to make all those decisions and those resolutions and all those things. And then when y'all done with that, then y'all be ready to come in here and do some work.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
No, but did you pick up the last part she said? Do some.
Work. That thing. Okay. So, and we're going to cover this again because most people are still going to go into this year with no plan, and that's okay. We know this is the case. It happens every year. The thing is the thing. All right. But that's why we're going to give y'all some outlets to do that. And it is called the Motivate Social Circle. Okay. That's where we're going to be bringing in like-minded people who are ready to do the work, who are ready to have some community, who are know that they can't do it by themselves and need some assistance. They're good at one thing, but they need another. If you are visionary and you need an executor, you'll find it there. If you're an executor and you need someone who knows how to develop, you'll find it there. Those types of things.
Mm-hmm.
It's a community.
Yes.
It is coming.
Mm-hmm.
We're not leaving you hanging. Just saying. So the reason why I bring that up is because sometimes we go in these things alone and think that we can execute this whole plan. There's no team. There's no JV partner. There's nobody you bringing on to speak. You the only speaker at your conference. You the only this at your only person in your book. You the only one doing the workshop. You the only one doing the paperwork. You the only one doing the training. You the only one.
Oh,
Why don't you just stretch on out and get ready for the burnout? Mm-hmm.
that's exactly what's going to happen.
Yeah,
Exactly what's going to happen. Yep.
where's your VA to take care of the small tasks or the tedious tasks that you are not blessed with? Because
Mm-hmm.
not everything is our gifting.
Mm-hmm.
We should be in our lane.
Yep.
Vanessa has a VA. I have a VA. Vanessa has a VA that can do these logos, do these graphics, do these book covers, do these web pages, all that, so she could be in her gifted, consulting with her book clients to get them out there in the 90 days that she has promised.
Mm-hmm.
But she had to work with all that tedious stuff that she wouldn't be able to do what she's supposed to be doing.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
A whole lot.
Okay. So
Mm-hmm.
what do I plan on taking into 2021? Plan on taking a plan. I
Yeah.
plan on taking a calendar. I have two large calendars. I get them off of oh, at a glance.
Mm-hmm. Yep. At a glance.
And and they are big calendars that have quarters on them. So I
Mm-hmm.
have two quarters sitting up there at all times, and then in June I flip them to July to December.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and I write everything out. Sometimes we need to see it. You
Yeah.
know, write the vision, make it
Make
plain.
it plain. Yes. That
Okay,
is
so
real though.
I know somebody was getting ready to go there, so
Yeah.
let's go ahead and hit it.
Yeah.
Okay,
That is very real. Very, very
okay.
real. Mm-hmm.
So write the vision, make it plain.
Mm-hmm.
And with that being said, sometimes we got to write it, sometimes we got to color code it on our computer, whatever it is. Yes. And then at the end of the day, okay, at the end of the day, we need to make sure that we are also taking in a contingency plan.
Mm. Come on, Kina.
Okay. You got to be flexible. You need to know that life is fluid.
Yeah.
I want to plan an event live, but I cannot tell you right now if September is still going to be with all these vaccinations and all this other stuff. Will it be? I don't know.
Yep.
So should we be thinking about turning everything virtual again? That's an idea. Vanessa has hers in July.
Yep.
Will it be virtual? Will it be live? We
Mm-hmm.
don't know. But
Yep.
we got to plan as if it's so, and then have a contingency plan for a certain amount of time as this to switch
Mm-hmm. Yep. Very true.
up. Okay? We don't want to speak fear into existence, but we have to realize that things do happen.
Yep.
Okay? There's just so much that I could say right now, but I'm not going to go into that. So the plan and the different types of plans.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I'm going to take in a new mindset of elevation.
Mm-hmm.
I have a mindset for elevation. Okay. That was my word for this year. And of course, that got all messed up. So we're going to continue that on. Did I elevate? Yes. But can I do some more? Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe my word for the year needs to be yes. Because you know what? That we tend to be real comfortable with saying no. And because it doesn't look like what we think it's supposed to look like,
Mm-hmm.
I talk about the Tiffany box versus the paper bag blessing. I'm gonna leave y'all with this. Yeah, I'm
Mm-hmm.
gonna take it there. A lot of people miss out on some great opportunities because it's presented to them in a paper bag versus a Tiffany box.
Yep.
They think that it should be grand. It should be fanfare when that blessing comes through. It should be, woo, look at me, honey. I need to just blow up right now. When every time I get a blessing, everybody needs to stand up and cheer for me. But that's not the way everything comes through.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Some of those paper bag blessings come with work,
Ooh.
but it has the blessing inside of the work.
Mm-hmm. Come on, Kina. Come on, Kina.
Because some people need to see that you show yourself approved before they pour into you.
Yep.
Because a lot of people have learned that if they let people in too quickly, then that's a waste of time.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, because they don't know enough. See, people need to build relationships with you.
Yeah.
So that blessing's gonna come in as a paper bag. Come here, sweep this room. Come here, do this thing.
Yep.
Come here and say this little talk real quick. Come in here and write this note out for me real quick.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But when you get down to it, when they see what you are about, then things will come. Prime example.
Ooh, Kina.
I was asked to do a talk about Facebook Live at the time
Mm-hmm.
at 4 a.m. in the morning. This chick does not get up before 8 and be
Mm-hmm.
functional. Okay? I know
Mm-hmm.
for a fact I get up at 6 to tell Alexa to shut up and then go on back to sleep.
Kina.
But okay. That's what it is. And so, with that being said,
Oh Lord, this woman here.
I got up at 4 o'clock in the morning, and I
Mm-hmm.
spoke to an amazingly large amount of people that day. I do believe it was about 25. They got up before 5 o'clock in the morning Eastern, 4 o'clock Central. Okay, and when it was done, not only did I have people reaching out to me, but the organizer said, "Hold on, just a second. I just need to see what you're going to be bringing. I would like for you to come to my international conference, all expenses paid." But if I
Mm-hmm.
had said, no, it's too early, I don't want to get out of bed.
Yep. There we go. That part.
So
That bed was more
that
uncomfortable than the
was
vision, the
a big
purpose.
blessing in that paper bag.
Mm-hmm.
All I saw was 4 a.m. in the morning. But
Mm-hmm.
this was this was a person that I knew that, had always been there for me. I'm going to get up and I'm going to be there for them.
Yep.
And then that's what happened.
Mm-hmm.
We show up. If we have a skill set and somebody needs that skill set, you show up.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't matter if it's a speaking engagement at 4 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 1 o'clock. The one in India was at 5 o'clock in the morning. But I was up there and speaking, and come to find out, you were only supposed to get 15 minutes. I got the whole 30 minutes because I was the only one to sign up for that particular block. So I got to speak and got my stuff all over the place. They publicized my conference and everything.
Mm. Is that talking about building
Paper
relationships or what?
about, that's what I'm talking about. Those
Mm-hmm.
paper bag blessings. Stop looking for those Tiffany box blessings because they probably just as shallow.
Mm-hmm.
Look at those paper bag blessings.
Wait a minute. Stop and repeat that part.
Oh, you mean the shallow part?
Yes.
When you
That
look
part.
for shallow, you probably gonna get shallow.
Yep.
But when you look for meat, you're gonna get meat.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? It may not be pretty,
Yep.
but it's real.
Mm-hmm.
Those paper bags may not be pretty, but they are real.
Mm-hmm.
They are industrious and they're useful.
Mm-hmm.
That's why you look for the paper bag blessings and not the Tiffany box ones. All right, Vanessa, why don't you shut us down today?
Well, if y'all haven't taken anything away from what we said today, then it goes to show you that you're stuck. You stuck in a place where you don't see no movement, or that it's not possible for you. Um, and in order for you to be able to get those adjustments, I'm just saying, you really need to take what we saying serious. We started from the ground.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't go and skip steps to get to the where we at.
Right.
We started in the dirt. Let's call it what it is.
That's
We
true.
started in the dirt. We started where we didn't want to do certain things, but we had to do it. We started in a place where we were overlooked. We started in a place where people felt that we didn't deserve a seat at the table. We started where if it was one and only one for a while, and that one came into 10, but we started. And so you have to understand that you have to start somewhere. It's not going to happen overnight. It's just not. But you have to be willing to do the work to get somewhere. So we can be able to have that backup plan, to be able to have something that just in case, when Dr. Finch said that she had to take off for surgery, now one beat was missed or skipped because she put those procedures in place. Just like if you take off from your job or your job take off from you, I don't know. Trust and believe they're going to have some policies and procedures in place just in case you are absent or no longer there.
Mm-hmm.
You have to be realistic with this thing that's going on right now in this world. This is crazy. This is real crazy what's going on. People losing their lives left and right losing their jobs, losing their minds. It's just, this is different. But different is also an eye opener. And you have to be open for change. And so don't take that mentality into 2021 where you see your stuff just doing a bare minimum. Don't do that. If you want to be able to grow, you got to be willing to be stretched. You got to be willing to be pushed. You got to be willing to be around people that's going to hold you accountable. You have to be willing. That's the most important thing. Just be open to the process. Be open to the process. And stop comparing yourself. That's what people got real bad. So you're going to start something. Stop comparing yourself to somebody else's success. Stop asking people, well, how long did it take for you to get to that level? And you automatically think that's how long it's going to take you. No, everybody's time is at a different time.
Right.
Your time is at your own time. It depends on how much work you put in. You don't know how much work they put in. And let alone, a lot of people don't want to be transparent about how much work they put in.
Come on.
They probably got somebody else doing the dirt work for them. And let alone, a lot of them are out here lying, flexing for the social media. And now, have you noticed that a lot of people that was flexing, they ain't flexing that much now? Me over here, me over here, me over here. You don't even see them now. Get with some authentic people that's willing to be able to just share their truth of the process. Not all this fakeness. Don't stop. Just because they got a huge following, that don't mean that you need to be following. If you can't even reach out and have a conversation with them without being every single last part of you is being sucked out of you, you need to reevaluate who you're connected with. So if God didn't get your attention in 2020, you're in trouble. You are definitely in trouble. And it's just the truth of the situation. This is some scary stuff that's going on. But get your what they say, get your affairs in order. Ain't that's what the old folks say? Get your affairs in order. Get your affairs in order. Make sure that you are covered. Make sure that you have things in place. Make sure that if there's multiple bills, there's multiple streams of income. And stop. And another thing, I'm going to leave you with this. Stop waiting for your family and friends to support you. Most of them, they're not going to understand, let alone support you. They'll be the first ones to talk you up out of what you are called to do. They want you to be average right along with them. And then if you decide to be able to go after your calling anyway, they'll find a way to be able to push you back into average. Again, the mindset needs to get shifted so you can be able to be elevated. So make sure that you stay connected with Dr. Finch and I as we do this every third Monday of the month. We will be back in 2021, coming back with some amazing things that we're working on. We are always making sure we challenge ourselves and hold each other accountable to win, because Dr. Finch have to win and Vanessa Canterbury have to win, because we are a dynamic duo. We have to come back and give you guys something that you could be able to learn from, because we had to be able to do the work, and we still doing the work. We still doing the work. And sometimes we want to throw in the towel because we tired, or we are connecting with the wrong people. But once you connect with the right ones, now we can have a conversation. But make sure you connect with the right ones, and make sure you do your research. Stop worrying about those people that's flexing and saying they got this, that, and the other. Because if you end up following something like that and hoping and praying that your success will be successful like theirs, you praying the wrong prayer. You praying the wrong prayer. So get with you some real people that's looking to be able to see you win, that's willing to support you, that's willing to celebrate you, is a beautiful thing. So let us know, comment, let us know how you are liking these videos. We are all over. We on LinkedIn now. We are on Facebook. We are on YouTube. If I'm missing anything, of course, my sister gonna let me know. But make sure that you do not miss a beat because we have some amazing things that we are working on. We're gonna keep on coming back and keep on giving you wisdom, keep on giving you knowledge, keep on being transparent because that's what we do. We're gonna keep on coming back as a dynamic duo, continue to show you the benefits of just being you and you alone, and watch the elevation of what God does. I'm
Yeah,
just saying. I'm
that's
just
right.
saying. Right?
That's
That's all
right.
it's about. We have to do the work, and God will bless you for showing up for you. Because if you could show up for you, imagine how many more people that's going to be like, "Dang, I was waiting for you to show up." Because I mean, I went through the process. I didn't want to do it. I didn't because I'm a behind the scenes person. That's not me. I'm not the type of person where you got to look at me, look at me. Dr. Finch is the same way. But we have to make those adjustments so people could be able to see what we bring to the table and how we are changing the world one person at a time.
Well, thank you, everyone. And like she said, as you see the ticker down at the bottom, please find us on Motivate Social Podcast. We are everywhere you are. So just go ahead and type in the Motivate Social Podcast. And we're also on YouTube. So if you're the YouTube watcher, we're actually going live on YouTube right now. So you probably saw us there.
Mhm.
So, and please find us on the LinkedIn and share it out. We would love for other people to see, and we would
Yes.
love for to hear your comments as well. So
Mm-hmm.
until next time, everyone. Good night.
Good night.